Welcome everybody, Prophecy Spotlight here. Good to see everybody on YouTube that's watching. Those of you listening via the radio, welcome to the program today. We're going to continue, Doc, where we left off last week. And I can't find my paper, so I don't know. I know we hit some of these, but we're discussing, are we near the end of this thing? And are there some things that point to the fact that we are near the end? And boy, we could be an hour talking about those things.
Oh my, yes.
Because there's so many things. I believe we mentioned the fact that we're near the 6,000th year. The calendars are off. You got to be careful how you do your math on the calendars.
Our good friend Michael Smith, did he send you the email that he sent me? Some wonderful material of his research with the thousands.
Okay, I might have got that. I'm sure I did.
Just got it today.
Oh, I haven't looked at it today.
Oh, it's amazing.
I haven't looked at the stuff today.
Yeah. I told him I was going to tell everybody, look what I've dug up. And then I said, no, I'll always give you the credit.
We talked about the fact that the final Jubilee is on the horizon. And I think that final Jubilee is Christ coming back on the white horse on the Day of Atonement with the title deed in his hand.
Well, it sure would fit. He fulfilled the first three spring feasts and the summer, because
all been fulfilled.
Pentecost was the beginning of summer.
We believe that the Feast of Trumpets is figurative or prophetic of the rapture. And now whether it happens on their Feast of Trumpets or just a new moon, I personally believe it'll be a new moon in the fall, but probably not their Feast of Trumpets. By the time this airs, Feast of Trumpets will already be passed anyway. But I don't usually look at theirs. I have my own Feast of Trumpets that I have in my calculations.
Well, they don't know what year it is anyway.
They're not doing it right. They're doing it by a computer, and it's supposed to be done according to the barley, and when and that's the reset for their calendar. But they're not doing that. And so
I bet I'm convinced God's doing that.
Yeah. And of course, God's looking at it. Israel is the barley.
That's true.
As I point out in my book. When Israel is Abib or ripe, God will hit the reset button, take us out, and deal with the 12 tribes.
It looks like they're getting to the point where they're going to be pretty ripe.
Yep. And if right now, and we were talking about this off the air, right now the world is looking to see who's going to win the White House.
Yeah.
You know, because we think it just matters. No, it matters around the globe.
Financially, I have a friend who's in the business world, coal business, and for the last 3 years, it's almost been impossible to find investors to want to participate in a program.
Yeah.
Now he's got investors calling him, do you have something we can invest in? Because everybody thinks and is counting on Trump getting in. So yes, the entire world, business, political, military, it's all revolves around what we have.
And even Israel knows if Kamala gets elected, the countries around them will have an easier time turning on Israel.
Oh, my. Oh, yeah. She'll shut the tap off right now.
Yeah.
Just like Biden shut the tap off of the pipeline coming down through Canada, she'll put it off to Israel.
She already said in that one debate that she wants a two-state solution.
Yeah, and she said, and we want a deal right now. I'm here to tell you, how do you call it a deal?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't think we hit this last time. Perilous times. In the last days, perilous times shall come. We're in those times.
You know, everybody says, well, that war with Ukraine and Russia, that's way over yonder on the other side of the world to us here in America. But I'm here to tell you, it could come home overnight just like that.
Yeah. Oh, but I mean, if the finances crash, it doesn't have to be an army. It can be financial disaster.
Well, we passed the $1 trillion mark of interest debt last week or two, so we can't keep that up.
No.
And
well, that's on my list here, Doc. Financial ruin, or I don't know what to call it. The debt of the world. The whole world's in debt.
The whole world. Basically, the majority of the economies of the world operate on debt. And matter of fact, if folks watch us in California, if they can still afford to pay the cable bill, but very few people actually own their own homes.
Yeah.
Because they're so inflated, all they're doing is paying basically interest rates It's an astounding thing.
Yeah.
But the entire world is set up on a debt program.
Yeah. Now, recently, well, it'll be a few weeks from the airing of this here because we're ahead of the game. But by the time this airs, but the Fed just lowered the interest rate, and they did that because the election's coming up.
They did it only for that.
Stock market went
Just
up.
like you go to the gas station and it's about 20, 30 cents less than
Yep.
it was 3 months ago.
Yep.
All of that is nothing but
Yep, they're trying to
smoke
make
and
it
mirrors.
look like we're doing a good job. Vote for us
Yeah.
again. Let us stay here.
And then the job reports that keep coming in, about 2 months later, then they have to revise it because they overinflated it about 10 times.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not a thing about them that's honest.
Yep. Now, another one here, Doc, the condition of our churches. We're in the Laodicean age, the final church age. And I believe we've been there since 1901 or thereabouts. And we are at the end of it. And
Dan, I've been in church, as my mom said, for 9 months before I got on this side. Anyway, all I've known is the churches that we're associated with, the independent Baptist churches. I never dreamed at age 76 that I would see what I'm seeing in our circles.
yeah.
It's scary.
Yeah. We've got music programs in our churches that are nothing but rock music that I grew up with.
Yep.
They turn the lights down, they're jumping up and down. I mean, it's like a rock concert.
Yeah. Well, there are a lot of them out there like that.
Yeah.
Yes, there is. Yeah.
Yeah. And, there's just something to me when they turn the lights off.
Yeah.
They're just, I mean, that's
And
an
that's just
atmosphere.
that's just one of the many facets. I think the greatest problem is the lack of solid doctrinal Bible teaching in their churches. It's sugar stick sermons. It's feel good things. They don't want to ruffle anybody's feathers because most of them have gotten themselves so deep in debt that they can't afford to lose a tither.
Yeah. And of course, I'm on record. I did some live streams and I told folks, and I still believe this, the greatest need of America, the world, but America especially, the greatest need in America is preaching.
Oh, yes.
Old-fashioned preaching would do something for our
Well, I'm
country.
afraid old-fashioned preaching would probably thin most people's crowd.
Well, I think that's what we need.
But I'm just saying, most churches are so deep in debt, they cannot afford to let that happen.
Yeah, that's a sad commentary, and
It is.
we borrow millions of dollars to have these big buildings and things. There isn't. I'm not against church buildings, but there's no church buildings in the Bible.
That's
they
right.
met in houses and in the woods. And
I realize these are maybe different times, but that's part of the process as you walk your way through those 7 churches in chapter 2 and 3 Revelation, and you come to where we are today. How did they leave the church at Ephesus that was so on fire? Yet, even at that day,
they lost their first love.
they lost their first love. And what I see in that is what I'm seeing in a lot of good churches. People know when to stand. They know when to bow their heads.
Yeah,
they know
ritual.
when to open their Bible. They become mechanical Christians.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no life to it. There's no emotion to it.
And I doubt if in most solid churches, no matter whether it's what branch it might be, I doubt if there's 5% that have even this week opened their Bibles, period.
Yeah.
This week.
So the church shows us that we are in the final age, the Laodicean age.
Yep.
You're neither hot nor cold. You're lukewarm. I mean, he describes it.
And as you've pointed out many times, they've lost the handle on Scripture.
Yeah. We've lost the Word of God.
Yep. Yep.
Now, there's always a remnant. Don't get me
yes.
wrong, there are preachers out there that are good
Amen
men
for that.
preaching it. I know
And
some
God
of them.
always uses a remnant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But these are different times. Like Brother Grady said on the cover of his book, the shallow waters.
Oh, yeah.
It's things are different today.
Well, most of our Christians today would drown in ankle-deep water.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. I mean, if you got them beyond ankle-deep water, their noses would already be under. They wouldn't even, they'd be lost.
Yeah.
I'm thankful my pastor, who's my son, I'm here to tell you, we've been 4 years in the book of Hebrews. This last Wednesday night, if I remember right, this is the fifth section, fifth week on 2 verses. And it's amazing what he's bringing out. It's amazing. But most churches aren't interested in that. They want how to feel good and fill my bank account.
Well, here's a scary one, Doc, that I write about in my 7 o'clock. The nuclear clock is ticking down. I mean, we're so close to somebody hitting the button.
Well, most of the people that are watching us or the people that are listening to us, they're aware of what's going on with the pushing of Putin and Russia. And he said this week, he's not playing the game any longer.
Well,
he's ready. He's already got his troops ready, and he's already got his button ready to push.
I think we're arguing over sending our planes into Russia.
We already have sent our planes. Well, maybe not all the way over into Russia, but we've got our planes over there.
But that's what,
and we've got boots on the ground.
That's what he wants, the leader of Ukraine there, Zelensky.
Oh, yeah.
And there are some good men that are warning that do not do that. We're already kind of in the war, but we'll really be in the war.
We're way too far into it.
They've got ships and subs right off the coast of Florida.
Yes.
And I hate to say it, but I mean, they're doing what we would do if the table was turned.
All they've got to do is put off an EMP, a low altitude bomb, and we're in the Stone Ages.
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody today about our cell phones. I mean, I can remember the time when you didn't have any phone.
Yeah.
Now nobody can even live without it. We're already a cyborg.
Yeah. I run the whole ministry on this, and you know, without internet and TV and everything, this ministry is over.
That's right. Yeah.
And that's why you shouldn't put all your ministry in this kind of stuff.
Right.
You know, we could be thrown off YouTube tomorrow.
Well, it's happening to a lot of people that are being shut off.
And so you better have some other lines out there.
Yes.
Because you don't want the world to shut your ministry off. You better have some other avenues there. Well, we got a minute and a half, Doc. Knowledge is increased. That's a sign.
Boy,
I mean, it's mind-boggling now.
I forget the statistics, but it's been doubling so rapidly down till it's almost doubling every 12 hours.
And this AI stuff and
that's what's aided man to. That's what's aided man, I believe, to once again be in the same position they were in Genesis chapter 6, with the knowledge and the ability.
Let me close with this one, Doc. You'll like this one. A big thing that I see now: the world is begging for a man to come on the scene.
They're looking for that Antichrist. Yes.
Now, some of them are begging for Trump. Some of them are begging anyone but Trump.
Yeah.
But the world's begging for someone to come on the scene to solve the problems and save us.
Yeah.
And of course, you and I know that person is Jesus Christ.
He's the only one.
That's who we need.
Until the King of Kings and Lord of Lords comes, it'll never be solved.
But that man is coming on the scene.
Yes,
he's going to be the Antichrist.
So the Lord said, "You won't believe me, but there'll be another come in His name, and you'll
I came in my own name, and you receive me not.
Yeah.
Another will come in His own name. Him you will receive." That's the Antichrist. He's alive somewhere right now. He's ready to step up to the plate and solve the problem. Are you ready to meet Jesus? Are you ready I hope you're ready for the rapture.
Amen.
Don't be left behind. Make sure you're saved. And we'll see you next time. But until then, keep your eyes on them skies.